Hi everybody, it's showing you my 2003 Suzuki Velusa 800. Yeah, 2003. Let's take it for a ride. It's clouds are looking pretty dark, but I want to go for a little ride. Thought I'd take you along with me. Yeah, I don't have a windshield on it, but that's the way I like it. I like riding this around town in the summertime or on the back roads. I like having the wind. It's kind of cool today, but that's all right. I got 4 bikes, and this is the only one I got that don't have a windscreen on it, and I think I'm going to keep it like that. This thing's a blast to drive around town on a warm summer night. But I got this Sony camera, and I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel and playing around here trying to see how this is going to work, and hope you guys like it. It's May 12th, I believe, today, and unfortunately this is my weekend, and the weather's not that great. But I'm going to take a chance. Might get rained on. They said thunderstorms. That would suck to get hit by lightning. Looks like my camera's... I guess I'll check it when I get home. Looks alright, I guess. Trying a couple different mounts for it. I've actually taken quite a bit of footage already, but nothing I'm really happy with yet. So if you can see the Callahan, those are the Callahan mountains right there. I don't know if I'm going to go up there or not. Just going to go for a little spin and see how this audio turns out. You know, Roseburg is a great place. Roseburg, Oregon is where I'm at, and I'm west of town. And it's a great, you know, after looking around, looking at other places, this is a really good place to ride bikes. There's lots of hills, lots of twisties. The roads are good. I mean, it's a good place to ride. This bike is not a powerhouse, but it's plenty fast enough for what I'm doing. I wouldn't really recommend something this small for touring. I mean, people do it. And I guess as long as you, if you're pushing this bike 70 to 80 all day long, I think it'd be, you know, you're pushing the bike a little bit. The bike's gonna have to work. But if you're comfortable traveling 60, 65, that's fast enough for you, you'd probably do all right. But like I said, I got 4 bikes. First bike I bought about 3 years ago. Well, let me back up. I just got back into riding about 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't have a bike, and seen this 95 Yamaha YZF. Wasn't in excellent shape, but actually had been stolen and wrecked, and guy bought it and fixed it up and put it up for sale, and he did okay. He tried the best he could. I mean, it's definitely not perfect, but it runs really good, and it's got a slip-on, a Yoshimura, whatever those are called. Slip-on, sounds great, runs great. And then I bought this bike. I think this was the second bike I bought. I bought this from a friend up in Spokane. I was up there visiting him, and I said, hey, seen this bike in his garage. I said, if you ever decide to sell that, I'd be interested in it. He said, I'll sell it. I said, how much? It's $2,500. It's a 2003, and it had less than 5,000 miles on it. It's pretty good shape, no dents in the tank. It's got a little tiny bit of paint from when they were painting in the house, little paint spots on it. The front fender's got a little scrape on it. I don't think it's ever been down. He said, I think there's no indication that it's ever been on the, on its side or wrecked or anything. And it's a blast to ride, it really is. Got lots of low end power. And, it only peaks out, horsepower wise, this is less than 50, I believe, about 48 or something. Depends on where you look. But for the kind of riding I do with it, it's fine. I've got as high as 55 miles a gallon with it, and that's trying to get good mileage. And that was on freeway. But you probably average around 45, 50, somewhere in there. Every time I've checked it, it's been more than 45. It's kind of cool today. We're going up this mountain. I'll go up here a little ways and we can look off into the valley. But this is switchback after switchback. I'll show you up here. I saw a cougar. This has been several years ago. I was in my pickup and I was driving up here, and a cougar jumped out on the road in front of me and ran up the road about 100 yards and then jumped off. I'll show you where that was. At first I thought it was a deer when it came off the bank there. Then I go, holy crap, it's got a tail. And it wasn't that far away from you. I think it was right up here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to riding this summer. I got the 600 YZF 95. I got this bike with 805cc V-twin, liquid cooled, shaft drive. They're right here, yeah. The cougar jumped off here, and right where this road gets narrow, he ran up the road here and dived off right there. That was pretty cool anyway. Road not maintained for winter travel. But yeah, I just had to take this for a little drive. It's pretty up here. Oregon's got lots of good riding, and I want to see a lot of it. There's a lot of Oregon I haven't seen. I've lived here my whole life, and I hope to get to see a lot more of it this summer. Plan on doing a lot of riding. Okay, we're getting up there where you can see a lot of people parked right up here. Like when they have meteor showers, you'll see a lot of people parked up here watching the sky. But there's the valley. You can see quite a ways. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but you can. At least I'm not getting rained on. Sorry if I sound a little plugged up. I have sinus problems. It's a lot easier climbing this hill on a motorcycle than it is in a car. My Toyota, I'm like second, third gear coming up here. Okay, so anyway, I got the, go back to where I was. I bought the 600. I like it. I bought this bike. I bought a Voyager, a 88 Kawasaki Voyager, which looks like a Goldwing. It's a touring bike. And I was looking for one. I found one at Grants Pass, and the guy sold it right before I just missed out on it for $2,800. And so I found another one up in Sheridan, Oregon, which is up north by Salem, kind of west of Salem. And it looked good. It looked good on Craigslist. So I went up and looked. Had some friends give me a ride up there. I told them I'd pay for their gas. I went up and looked at it, and it didn't look as good when I got there as it did on the Craigslist. But I bought it anyway. I talked him down a couple $100. He wanted $25 for it, and I offered him $23, and he took it. And I took it for a test ride, and I let go of the bars, and it just started shaking violently at I was probably going 30 miles an hour. And so that concerned me a little bit, you know. I don't want that thing head shaking when I'm going down the freeway. But I went ahead and bought it, and I thought, well, I'll just put a tire. Maybe it's the tire. Front tire was not terrible, but I replaced it, and it really didn't make any difference. It still did it. Then I ran into a guy that I used to ride with all the time that I hadn't seen in years, and turns out he's got one the same year, same color. And he said, yeah, they just don't have a reputation for handling very good. And I noticed going down the freeway at high speed, and you're cornering, not pretty good corner for a big bike going at that speed. You know, freeways don't have real sharp corners, but when you're going 70, 75, some of those corners the bike would act kind of strange. And my mechanic tightened up the steering stem bearing as tight as he thought it could get it without it being too tight. It still turned free, but you could tell there was a little bit of resistance there. It was tight as he dared get it, and that made a difference on that the way it was acting going down the freeway. Also, I put another back tire. I put a better back tire on it. That might have had something to do with it too. But I rode it enough now that I'm comfortable that it's not going to head shake on me. You got to keep one hand on the bars though, which you probably should do anyway. I have a bad habit of I like to ride a little bit without my hands on the bars, but I've never had a problem with it, and I've rode it. Put several thousand miles on it. I've taken it to Spokane twice, which is 550 miles one-way trip, and I do it in one day. And that bike is great for traveling. I mean, it'll cruise 75, 80. It only turning about 3,500 RPMs. Gets over 40 miles a gallon, about 44. Going that fast, and it's comfortable. So, okay, then I decided I wanted a sport touring bike. That I might be able to replace that Voyager with a sport touring bike. So I found a 97 Concourse, and I bought it up in Portland. Real low miles for a 97, only had 14,500 miles. The only thing that was wrong with it is the fairing was broke. Where the blinker was, the guy dropped it. they're a very top-heavy bike. They're easy to drop. But anyway, the bike was really in good condition, and you could tell that it was low miles by just looking at it. It needed the back tire, and I paid $2,200 for it. That's cheap. I looked at a bunch of them that were had high miles on them, and they wanted like $3,000 for those bikes. So $2,200 I thought was a good deal. And that fairing, that busted little bit of that fairing ain't bad. It don't bother me. And anyway, I like the bike, but it will not, I cannot, it's not high geared. It's not as comfortable to travel on as that Voyager. So I decided to keep the Voyager for traveling. And I used the Concourse for day trips. Well, I'm going to keep this short. There's a sign right there that says Melrose, Roseburg. This is Dorner Road. Hey, I'll catch you guys later. We'll go for another ride here soon.